I'm Owen Hughes. It's time for a road trip. Join me as we tour America's Great Lakes and beyond. Our tour begins in Detroit, Michigan, then moves north off Lake Huron to historic Mackinac Island. We then head south to the Botanical Gardens of Grand Rapids and around Lake Michigan to Chicago, Illinois. Just off Lake Erie is our first stop, Detroit, Michigan, origins of the Motor City Sound and America's automotive birthplace. The Detroit River separates the city from Canada and is a tributary into Lake Erie, the second smallest of the Great Lakes. Our first morning we depart on a city tour. Key landmarks like the Guardian Building, which includes Art Deco design and was once home to Bank of America, and the Fisher Building. In 1928, the building was financed with proceeds from the Fisher family sale of Fisher Body to General Motors. Also, notice the walkways between buildings. This feature is prevalent in cold weather cities like Detroit. Next up, the home where Motown founder and music legend Berry Gordy founded the Motown Sound. Hitsville, USA is the nickname given to Motown's first headquarters and recording studio. Gordy purchased the property in 1959 and was used for recording and administrative purposes. With the museum presently in renovation, a Motown Sound retail store in trendy Greektown is perfect for gifts and memorabilia from the great performers who made it happen. Although General Motors has been America's automotive leader since the 1930s, it's the Ford Museum that we visit next. Automotive pioneer Henry Ford originated auto manufacturing in America. This museum is an attribute to his legacy and contribution to the industry. The museum covers it all.
That's where Rosa, she moved from the aisle seat over to the window.
Just up the road is the Ford Rouge factory. Here you'll find a spectrum of Ford history and elegance on display. As we finish our tour of Detroit, we head back to the hotel and ready for our trip north. The next day we make it to Mackinac City. After lunch, we ferry across to historic Mackinac Island. It's a cool but busy weekend for the off-season. On Lake Huron, and pronounced Mackinac. It's 8 miles around the island. Residents of this region remember the Great Lakes by this one word: homes, like great homes on your street. H for Lake Huron, O for Lake Ontario, M for Lake Michigan, E for Lake Erie, and S for Lake Superior. Except for emergency, there are no vehicles on the island. You walk, bike, ride a horse, or take a carriage to get around. Main Street is geared for tourists, and it's a fudgeaholic's paradise.
Well, it'll usually take me about 15 minutes of working with it until it's shaped up just like that one.
However, the crown jewel of the island is the Grand Hotel. Contractor Charles Caskey oversaw 300 craftsmen who built the hotel in 93 days, in time for its grand opening in 1887. With classic Victorian design, the hotel has accommodations for several hundred guests. Evening dining is a formal affair and popular. With seating for 700 and an excellent menu, what a great way to end the day. A cool morning greets us for a carriage ride through the state park. A wealth of history is found at Fort Mackinac.
Now the fort actually has around 14 historical buildings here. They actually have cannon and rifle demonstrations every hour.
Established by the British in 1780, it was governed by Britain, then full United States occupancy in 1814. The fort, active till 1895, was transformed from a fur trading post to a summer resort. A cannon fired on the hour is a key highlight.
Ready? Fire! That's a cannon fire, number 6.
On a glorious afternoon, we head back to the Grand Hotel to wind down our stay. It has the largest porch in the world at some 660 feet in length. Movies with Jimmy Durante and the still popular Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeves and Jane Seymour were filmed here. Afternoon tea in the parlor is a popular pastime. Or just sit outside and enjoy the view. We leave the island the next morning. Traveling south, the Music House Museum is our first stop. A collection of early antique instruments, radios, and recordings are highlights here. Established in 1983, the museum showcases one-of-a-kind musical artifacts
Whistle. For summer, you have to have Tweety Bird.
and is located near Traverse City. Next up, the Frederick Meyer Gardens and Sculptor Park in Grand Rapids. With a sprawling 158-acre campus, the park opened in 1995. A 30-acre sculptor park plays host to acclaimed works, combining permanent and exhibition pieces. Two of the prominent gardens include the Japanese Garden, with its endearing beauty and tranquility, and the Children's Garden, one of the largest of its kind in the country. Our final stop before Chicago are the Saugatuck Dunes. Just off Lake Michigan, the vast sand dunes are perfect for this exhilarating ride. Glaciers from millions of years ago transported sand deposits across Michigan.
These trees are actually very good at us helping to build sand dunes. A cottonwood tree is one of the only trees in the world that can continuously regenerate their rooting structures throughout any part of the tree.
Covered with grass and trees and spanning approximately 2,500 acres, the Saugatuck Dunes form part of the largest freshwater dunes on Earth. Arriving late afternoon, we reach Chicago. We're staying at the Palmer House, America's oldest hotel in continuous operation, and where the brownie was invented. One of the great things about the Palmer House is that this is where the brownie was invented. And I can tell you firsthand, they are good. The next day we tour the city. Millennium Park, located downtown, is a hub of activity. An amphitheater, fountains, and sculptors like Cloudgate, dubbed the Bean by locals, make this park a favorite of residents and tourists alike.
A breathtaking daily vista. You can't imagine what you'll see here if you consistently come here and visit it. Open every single day for you and you and you and me to just what? Enjoy and lose yourself.
A brief walk brings us to Preston Bradley Hall in Chicago's Cultural Center. Utilized for private events, the hall includes the world's largest Tiffany glass dome ceiling. The hallways depict the devastation of the Great Chicago Fire of 1871, which destroyed the city. Caused by a meteor shower, a resilient city rebuilt. 2021 marked the 150th anniversary of the fire.
And they rebuilt it into what is known globally as an architect's playground. Right now, you guys will learn today when you take the boat cruise that in the downtown Chicago River Basin, there's approximately 425 structures, skyscrapers, if you will, high-rises, apartments, buildings, mega centers. That's pretty impressive.
As the skies clear, we visit the Navy Pier on Lake Michigan. This popular waterfront is an entertainment destination, along with great views of the city. However, the best views were saved for our city boat tour.
And we call that style of architecture contextualism.
Cruising through the Chicago River, you see why the city is an architect's playground. An array of architectural styles fill your senses, and on a sunny afternoon, a visual spectacular unfolds before you. This tour of over 700 miles was a journey of history, culture, architecture, and the Great Lakes. A satisfying adventure that empowered my thirst for travel and makes me wonder, where will the road take me next?